But let's talk about this even further right now with legal analyst and expert and friend of the program, Andrew Lieb. He joins us now, and we're going to get into this because this is going to be quite something. If what we're hearing is true, that a possible charging decision could come down very, very soon, how do you feel about this, Andrew? What does your gut tell you?
I'm hearing rumblings that it might be coming down in two different places, both Florida and in D.C., as there's grand juries in both. And I'm feeling it's a culmination of an exhausting experience of hearing of Trump's charges. So at some points, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And in another moment, it's a somber moment in American history that a former president may be charged with the Espionage Act. They might be charged with obstruction of justice. These are serious, serious crimes. So you got to take the magnitude of the moment and really take it in.
Yeah, Andrew, and that's my question to you. Would this meeting have even taken place? Would they have agreed to meet with Trump's legal team if a charging decision wasn't imminent? Now, the Trump team demanded this meeting. They didn't get Merrick Garland in the room, but they still met with them. Does that say something?
It certainly says something to me. We have to unwind, though, and go back to that original letter that they had sent saying, in paraphrasing, that there was Jack Smith was corrupt, and why are they going after Trump and not the Bidens and Hunter Biden? They put in it to remind you it was a 2-paragraph letter, and really it was just a political fireball they were throwing without substance. In response, they got Jack Smith. And I don't see anything out of the ordinary about that, except for the fact that they went in with this political firepower. In a normal run-of-the-mill thing, you would expect a prosecutor to meet with defense counsel if defense counsel had some ways to blow open the case to say, hey, prosecutor Smith, you're going to make a big mistake here. This isn't going to work out well. You don't have the intent. You don't have this. Maybe they could have convinced him. But that letter really, really throws some water on this thought because it was so political in nature. I would hope they kept their cool and went straight to the facts.
Okay, so like I said, Donald Trump did post about this on Truth Social. I want you to comment on this because this is in all caps, this post from just this morning. It says, how can DOJ possibly charge me who did nothing wrong when no other presidents were charged? When Joe Biden won't be charged for anything, including the fact that he has 1,850 boxes, much of it classified, and some dating back to his Senate day when even Democrat senators are shocked. It also goes on to say, Andrew, also President Clinton had documents and won in court. Crooked Hillary deleted 33,000 emails, many classified. It wasn't even close to being charged, exclamation point. Only Trump, the greatest witch hunt of all time. Is he telling his support, is he telling the wider public he already knows he's getting charged? Did you find that interesting?
I think he definitely believes he's getting charged. I'm not clear that Jack Smith or the DOJ would tell him you're being charged. It wouldn't make any sense for the prosecutor in the meeting to say give up any of their hand. They're just going to listen in silence, I would imagine, in this situation, because why tip their hand moving forward? But what I would say is twofold. Number one, what's with the all caps? I'm just done with that. I need to, please don't use all caps if you're ever emailing me on anything. Second of all, I think that by him going onto this sideshow of Clinton and Hillary and about all this other nonsense, I think he needs to get to the point, and I've said this a million times on your show, when we believe we're going to have criminal problems, say less. That's the way to go. If you inflame the prosecutor, you're not going to get yourself anywhere. It's not going to help you.
Speaking of someone who said less and who cooperated very quickly and very fully, former Vice President Mike Pence. We saw the result of that last week. The DOJ chose not to charge him with any wrongdoing. He handed those classified documents that were found in his possession there at his home outside Indianapolis very, very quickly. He cooperated very, very quickly. And so that's what you see there. And then this very, very long probe, a special counsel had to be appointed by Merrick Garland to look into this. And there's also one in the Biden documents case as well, we have to remind the viewer. So going forward this week, if a charging decision is made, who's going to tell us about it? Is it going to be Merrick Garland? Is it going to be Jack Smith? Is it going to be the Trump team, do you think?
Well, first of all, everyone knows Andrew Kraft is going to be telling us about it on your show because that's where we're all going to find out. But I think Trump's going to tell us, it's going to leak out from Trump. He uses this as a political thing. He uses this to raise money. And I've been saying this all along. The problem with Trump is he allows politics to dictate their strategy, their PR, not criminal defense. And we have to go back to Pence. He did it exactly right. He kept it low key. He cooperated right at the beginning. If you notice when I said not just Espionage Act, Trump has problems because he has obstruction. He got asked for the documents. He didn't give it to him. He's got a subpoena. He didn't give it to them. You got to cooperate with the government, and you can't win by bullying the government. And I think it's very important that way, but I think that Trump's team will leak it. That's when I expect to hear it, and I think it could happen this week, to be honest with you.
Okay, and I just want to set the scene here and the historical precedent. We kind of overuse that word a lot, precedent. But if he were to be indicted by Special Counsel Jack Smith, that is 2 pending indictments against a former president who is right now the front runner for the GOP nomination for the next election. We are in uncharted territory, are we not?
It's mind-blowing.
It's a big if.
It's an error that we're going to be telling our grandkids about. I do need to point out, though, when you're saying that the New York charges and these federal charges, it's important to remember because there's people calling for even Biden to pardon him. And I got to remind everyone that no one can pardon him from the New York charges except the New York governor. And if something happens down in Georgia, that's the case as well. So the significance of a federal charge and a state charge can't be overstated here, and one doesn't overtake the other. But yes, Jack Smith, and depending on what those charges are, if it says Donald Trump charged with espionage, I can't even fathom reading that.
All right, Andrew Lieb, as always, we appreciate your insight into these major legal stories. We'll definitely bring you on in case there are any more developments throughout this week. Andrew, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.